Hello folks, Jerry here and welcome back to some actual content, and today we're gonna go ahead and take a look at the Ford Focus RSRE, and there's a very good reason for that. Pretty much, as you guys probably know at this point, if you log into the game sometime in the next 7 days, you're going to get a paintable version of this car for free, because the developers made a mistake. Now, in order to explain why we're all getting a free car, we're going to have to go back to the summer of 2016, when Glue has actually decided to re-release some crate cars as turf cars, and I think it was two DTM Benzes which were re-released as turf cars at the time, and people were pissed off because when you turf, the whole point of that is to get a car which is actually valuable. But if a car was previously in a crate, odds are that it wasn't worth as much, and those cars which were I guess re-released as turf cars were fairly shit. And well, Glue at that point has decided to never re-release crate cars as turf cars. Except they did around a week ago with the Focus RSRE, and people were especially pissed off because the developers did promise that the top 100 version of the Focus RE was going to be paintable. And when people claimed their car, it wasn't. So a few days later, people did actually notice the paintable version of the car on their accounts, but the problem is it wasn't given to everyone, because if you sold the Ford Focus RE which you have claimed in turf, you would not get the paintable version of the car. So the developers just decided to give the car to everyone, and I guess have less problems with that. Still, it kind of sucks for the people who actually turfed for the top 100 version of the car, just to see everyone get it. So they actually did get 500 gems to compensate for that, but the thing is, it's not going to be enough if you just turf with higher class cards, because those do take a lot of gems if you actually consistently raise them. Still, it's nice that developers at least owned up to their mistakes, so there's that. Now let's talk about the car. It's pretty much the best bang for your buck car in the game at the moment, because they're so cheap. Like, people have a lot of different accounts, some which they only use to collect free stuff, and pretty much a fucking R2 class car which can hit 6.6 is going to cost you around $1 mil, and that's just insane, especially because this car is so usable. Like, it's actually better than pretty much any other R2 class car because it's super easy to drive and it's super cheap. Pretty much like the M3G2, except better. Now, there's obviously a bunch of different versions of this car out there. So you have obviously the paintable version, which we all got. Then you have the silver wrap, which is on the screen right now. You also have the crate wrap and the turf wrap, and the turf wrap, I believe, is actually going to be the only one which is going to be somewhat rare and somewhat expensive. And well, this car is actually relatively easy to drive. The release is just after the launch button lights up. It's actually really easy to get used to, and I suck with cars which actually drop on just like this. So this car actually super nice to drive. The first gear is slate, and after that you're supposed to shift at 8200 RPM. Now, I do want to go ahead and compare this car to some other cars. So in terms of actually I guess the drop launch and shifting, it's pretty similar to the M4 Performance, which does run similarly but is slower and less consistent, so it's pretty much just a shittier version of the Ford Focus RE. Also, I wanted to compare it to the 2017 GT, because that's a really good car, and well, the Ford Focus is faster, and it's not really much more difficult to drive, so it really gets you thinking, is it worth spending so much more cash for a car which, at the end of the day is going to be slower? So this car is going to break the market very likely. It's pretty much the S-Class Murcielago all over again. Car is so cheap, yet so fast. I mean, there's really no point in running an M3G2 anymore, since this is cheaper, it's faster, it's easier to drive, and in my opinion is better looking. Plus, there's a bunch of different versions of this car out there. So, is this a good car? Yes. Is this the best bang for your buck? Yeah. Is it the best R2 in the game? Probably. So I would give it a 9 out of 10. Thank you guys for watching. My name's Jerry, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.